What's up, guys? It's a beautiful Saturday morning in Colorado, and I just want to do a quick review on my thoughts of the Jeep after basically my first impressions of the Diesel JLU. So let's top in, take a little ride, and I'll tell you what I think. Hopefully it'll help people if they're interested or on the fence on buying one. And hope everyone's doing well. Let's have some fun today. First things first, I gotta mention this. The sound of this engine is awesome. Let's get it started. So you may not be able to hear it in there, but essentially what you get, sorry guys, essentially what you get is a diesel like growl that you only hear when you're giving it throttle or at like idle. But when you're driving, it's kind of a smooth, consistent, it's not like overwhelming like you're in an F-250. But like I said, when you get it, you definitely have that nice crisp diesel growl, and that's what it is. It's really crisp. I don't know how better to explain it than that, but that's the first word that came to my head, and I'm gonna run with it. Great sound of the truck. Next, I want to talk about the handling a little bit. So no, it's not going to handle like your IFS Tacomas and 4Runners and stuff like that. However, it does have a nice combination of stiff and plush, if that makes sense. Not getting too, sensual. But the way it handles is, it's very firm in the corners, but it still kind of has that plushness. So when you're rounding stuff like this, you got kind of a sharper turn, you can still get on it and you're not getting a lot of body roll, if that makes sense. So you're still kind of getting a nice feel, and it's very controlled. The steering isn't as tight as IFS, but I mean, that's meant to be, that's expected with a solid front axle. It's still pretty tight, but you do have a little bit of play in the steering wheel. It's very, very slight, but you do notice it, especially compared to other vehicles with tighter steering. Not a big deal, but just something a little bit noticeable. And again, overall the handling is really good. I like it more than the JK. Could just be me. I like this position of the windshield a little bit more, although it almost feels the exact same. You see it more on the exterior, but on the interior of the vehicle, it kind of looks like it's still a little bit flatter than it actually is, but it's still a flat windshield. The seating is nice, it's comfortable. The seats, the leather on this, the positioning is a little bit better than the JK seats. And again, that's just my opinion. Some people may not be able to notice it, but I feel like the seats hug a little bit better. The JK seats felt a little bit flatter. I'm hoping you guys will be able to hear the engine a little bit more here. Really wish I could get access to hunt this private land over here. I always see deer, elk, foxes, all the good stuff. It's really nice. Anyway, so that's kind of a little bit of the handling and the engine. Let's talk about the interior. Okay, you guys know I was going to talk about this because I complained about it in Tacoma, and this is exactly why. In your new vehicles, in your newer vehicles, like your Jeeps, your Broncos, your off-roady vehicles, which the Tacoma and the 4Runner are, look at this dash and look at this setup, and tell me it's not more updated and rugged than a Tacoma or Tundra. That was my biggest complaint with the Tacoma and Tundra's interior. They just haven't done anything with it. I mean, you got Apple CarPlay. You got all of your controls right here with all these updates. I mean, look at your cockpit settings right here. Everything just looks revised and like it should for a 2021 vehicle. Plus, rugged-wise, you got rubber knobs. This stuff looks waterproof. It looks more stout, I guess you could say, and it just looks like it's meant to be used in more of a adventure fashion. And I know it doesn't to a lot of people, and I know a lot of people don't like when I compare Jeeps to Toyotas, but the fact of the matter is, I say this all the time, you're going to see one of those vehicles on the trail most often. You're going to see Tacomas, you're going to see 4Runners, you're going to see Jeeps, you're going to see Broncos. And when you look at the interior of these vehicles and compare them, the 4Runner and the Tacoma especially are just so outdated, along with the Tundra. you don't get this same feel. So I know people will agree and disagree on that, but I'm sticking with my guns on this one. You can't compare the two. This is just so much better. Along with the Bronco, I mean, even your Colorados and your Rangers, they've updated it, they've set it up a lot better, and Tacoma and whatnot, Toyota's just running on their reputation. It is what it is. I think when you get into the 4th gen Tacoma, people are going to realize, they're going to say, oh, I get it. They hadn't updated it. Now it just looks so much better. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. If you know, you know. And I'm going to keep this video short for you guys. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the JL has been out for quite a while. There's a lot of review videos. There's a lot of people talking about them. You know, there's a lot of people with JKs. So if you're on the fence on if you should upgrade to a JL, I think it's personal preference. I think it's worth it based off the initial experience. If you're interested in diesel, I think that's worth it. The power alone, when you're off the line, I'm not getting on this too hard because obviously I don't want to, the engine isn't broken in yet. Not that someone freaking didn't test drive it and flog the shit out of it, but I just want to kind of wait a little while. But even when you're just getting on it just a little bit, there's a slight lag, but once it goes, it goes. Also, I do like that the engine brakes itself, which is nice. And Shay's X5, it didn't have any engine braking, so you'd be going down the hill and it would just start flying. Whereas this actually has some engine braking integrated, which is really nice. Also, this has the automatic shut off, and it has the button where you can turn it off or on. I personally don't like to start and stop diesels a lot, so I turn that off so that the diesel is just constantly running and doesn't turn off when you're stopped and parked. Maybe the technology's changed for that, but I personally I like to keep them running. I think it just adds less wear and tear and all the good stuff, so I'll stick with that. There's also one more thing I wanted to check out. The Sport, Sahara, Willys, all those, I think they come with the 30 and 35 axles, but I've been told if you have the limited slip, which this one does because the diesel package, it comes with the Dana 44. So let's take a quick peek because I'm really curious on if it does have the 44 in the rear. I'll have to look that up because I'm not entirely sure. This thing is more stout, but I think that's the 44. I don't have a good view of it. Let me compare it to the front axle on them though. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. That one does look different. Does it? Can't tell. Maybe I think my head's messing with me. All right, looking at the axles, I confused myself a little bit. I can't really tell if this is M200 or M220, which is the equivalent of the 44. So if you think you have it figured out, let me know. Having one side by side would be easier to compare, but again, I kind of confused myself when I was looking down there. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. Don't claim to. So I think it has a 44 in the rear, maybe in the front. Again, I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to have to do some more research on that. Or if you think you could tell just by looking at it, let me know. Anyways, hope everyone's doing well. Hope to see you guys on the trail. I'm going to drive home, have a good time, and enjoy the rest of the day. Also, we have the first mod of the Jeep going on today, and I'm really looking forward to that. Super pumped about it. It's one of my favorite things to do to Jeeps when I first get them. So again, hope everyone's well. See you on the trails.